Hey, so this vision I had recently, I had it a couple days ago, and this vision I had on May 30th, 2017. This is definitely prophetic of what is about to happen. And I've had dreams about war before, and in 2013 I saw a vision of World War III about to happen. I had a vision, or a dream, sorry, of America and Russia battling against each other, and of course America lost. But interesting in that dream with the Americans fighting the Russians seemed to sneak up on the Americans unaware. They were more of like a Trojan horse. They kind of entered in and then took over. This vision I had 2 nights ago, was maybe 2 or 3 nights, was so clear. It was completely lucid. And I don't have that kind of dreams very often. It's very rare I have these kind. So this dream started out, it was like I was observing and I was going across this grassy land, and I could almost hear someone narrating some things. I couldn't pick out everything, but I know one thing he said was 216 million soldiers, and I knew he was talking about China. And so we're going, it was like I was flying over this landscape, and we got to this one spot in this landscape, and then the scene switched to where, if I could draw this I would, but it would be terrible drawing and you wouldn't probably understand it, is that I was looking at this piece of land, and this was all symbolic. It wasn't literal of what's going to happen as far as war is symbolic. And on the left side of this land, I saw a row of trees, and it was trees and vegetation between the trees, so it was like bushes and trees, and there was a row of them. And the row started here with trees and went back. And there's another row on the right side with trees and vegetation, and it started here and went back. And in between them was this flat, grassy field. It was narrow, so it was just a narrow strip. And so I'm watching, and I could see on the, what was it, the right side or the left side? I think it was on, technically, yeah, it was on my left side. I started seeing about 7, maybe 6 or 7 American soldiers. And God was pointing to me to what they were wearing. It was important, he was showing me the importance of what they were wearing. They were wearing very high-tech, not more than they're wearing now, maybe a little more advanced, but their gear and their padding and their helmets and their guns were so much more advanced than the Chinese, which I'm about to describe. You could tell that their technology was more advanced. They were technically more prepared for war than the Chinese. And I saw them kind of grouping together, just waiting to strike, kind of just rallying together. There's only about 7 of them. And it's just symbolic. This is not the actual literal representation of what's going to be in the future. It's going to be so much more deadly, so much more violent than what I'm about to describe. And on the right side, I saw about 3 or 4 Chinese. Only saw 3 or 4 because the rest were hiding in the bushes, hiding in the trees. And I saw them kind of just waiting, and I saw one American soldier come out, and he saw one Chinese. And I'm going to describe the Chinese. They look very primitive in their armor. They look very primitive in their gear. They had a helmet, I think, but it was like their body plates and padding, they didn't have any of that. It was like they were wearing like this long gray tan cloth poncho. Like they weren't wearing anything. Anything that you would take to war, but it's symbolic, it's not literal. So they had this very primitive technology, primitive armor. So if you were to look at it, it was like, okay, well, the Americans going to win this one, right? No. So one of the Americans from the left side comes out, and one of the Chinese come out, and they don't try to sneak attack the Americans. They just come headstrong. And so one of the Americans comes out, one of the Chinese, they start shooting at each other. The American kills the Chinese guy. And so he's kind of getting there. His other troops behind him, the other 6, are kind of getting closer, rallying behind him to help him out. Well, then, once that Chinese man dies, there's about 2 or 3 more that take out that one American. It was the numbers, it wasn't technology. And so, once that first American is taken out, another one comes in and tries to take out maybe 2 or 3, but he couldn't even take out those. Those same 3 Chinese guys took out him. And it kept going like this. And it was more Chinese. And it was more, and then more. To the point where I saw maybe 3 to 5, well, let's say about 5 Chinese total, take out the Americans. So God was showing me that it wasn't the technology that the Chinese were going to win. It's the sheer numbers. It's just too many of them. Then the scene switched to where, you know that narrow strip that they were on? I'm in my body, and I'm at the end, or I could say the top of that narrow path, because it goes straight and then it goes up on a hill. So I'm at the crevice of that hill, and I'm watching down the path, and I'm seeing the war still go on. I'm seeing that the Americans are losing and the Chinese are winning, but the way they're fighting, in this dream, I thought of trench warfare that happened in World War II. I think it's just the way they were fighting. They were kind of digging themselves down and popping up and shooting and that type of thing. So I thought about trench warfare. Then I decide, for whatever reason, because you know I'm on this crevice that goes up on a hill, I decide to turn around and climb up this hill. And I'm climbing up the hill, and I could tell that it's really sunny outside at this time. This whole time it's sunny. No clouds in the sky. But when I climbed up this hill, it was like the sun was super close. You see that lamp behind me? It was like maybe 10 feet back from that lamp. The sun was. And I go up on this hill, and I turn around, and I kind of just go back to observing. While I'm on this hill, I can feel the warmth, the heat of the actual sun that close to me, behind me, warming me up. And that's when the dream ends. I kind of know what that might mean, but I'm not sure. But as far as what I do know what this dream means is that, as we know, America has the technology, great technology. Our Air Force is insane. Our military technology, the money we spend on war is insane. The technology we have as far as soldiers, the drones, the robots, the actual visual technology in soldiers' glasses, the technology they have in these devices they carry is so far advanced. I mean, it's ridiculous how much we spend on war in our military. So that's what God was showing me. But God was showing me that just because that and America was not in God's favor, the Chinese, by their numbers, in their primitive gear, in their primitive weaponry, they still had guns, but literally their armor and their padding, their chest plates, they had nothing. It was just like a gray tan cloth poncho with a helmet. That's all they had. They still won. Easily. And then, so God was showing me that America has no chance as far as this war that's about to start. We will lose. Then he started, and one thing I don't understand, I kind of get it, is when I ascended up the hill, I think I was talking about the ascension. A lot of people have had dreams about when the bombs come down, we go up. Maybe God was telling me when this war begins to start, we go up. I don't know. Maybe it was God was talking about my walk. You know, I'm I'm going to be right near the Son, but Jesus the Son, in the beginning of this war, whenever it starts. I don't know. Maybe God will show you guys. I'm still praying about that, wondering about that, but I pray that God can have His will on this video and everyone watching it, and that, as always, to all these visions and dreams I've been sharing recently, that God can show you guys things and show me things and can reveal to us what He's saying to us about this season, about what's going on, about us personally, about what He wants us to do. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.